So as we come down onto our backs, and as we elevate our heart with whatever prop you're using underneath the shoulders, bring yourself down, support the head again. This is important because when the chest is elevated and the skull rests on the mat, your chin is pointing up. So support the head so that we tuck the chin in and we find a little bit of length in the neck. This is a hips class. I'm going to invite you to come into supine Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose. So soles of the feet come together. Press into the heels and the balls of the feet and flare the toes out towards the shins. If you need the support underneath the thighs, grab your blocks or pillows or blankets and set them underneath the thighs so that you can allow the legs, the weight of the legs and gravity to just begin to open up the whole pelvic bowl and the inner thighs and bring some action to the outer hips. Maybe hands rest on the body. Maybe we close down the eyes. And as we welcome the breath into the body, in through the nose, expanding through the chest, the ribs, the belly. Releasing the breath just to soft belly and ribs and chest. So just continue a fluid pattern of breath here and feel the breath under your hands so you make the connection with body and breath. Inhaling, chest, ribs, belly. And exhaling, belly, ribs, and chest. And then begin to center the mind. Let the mind trace the breath now. So you've got the hands feeling the breath move through the body, but now let your mind center on the breath coming in and filling you. And the breath releasing and relaxing you. The fullness of the inhales, the slowness of the exhales. And as your hands connect to the body and your mind connects to the breath, this is your yoga practice. If you do nothing else, this is your true yoga practice. Breathing in, feel the breath. Breathing out, relaxing the whole entire body. We have 8 limbs of yoga. You've heard me say this before. Asana is just one. Mindfulness, kindness, compassion. Those are also yoga practices that are a little bit harder sometimes than our asana practice. So take 3 more deep breaths on your own and know that this is enough. Anytime you feel overwhelmed or chaos, come to your mat. Do this practice. Connect with yourself and your breath. Big breath in. And slow breath out. Use the hands outside of the thighs to draw the knees together. Roll off onto one side and just take whatever prop you're using off to the side. Let's take a big full body stretch. Just feel into the abs that we might feel from yesterday's work. Maybe take those arms a little right and left as you sway through the shoulders. Big breath, toes away from the fingers, and then draw the knees into the chest, and let's feel into the back body here. So as you draw them in, let the hips roll in. Feel into the low back, into the spine, into all the energy centers that we know reside along the spine, and maybe take a rock. And then plant the left foot down, left knee bent, and begin to straighten through the right leg. So the right heel heads towards the sky or the ceiling as the toes point down. Any degree of straight here. And maybe with the hands interlaced, draw the thigh in towards the chest, but don't squeeze in the shoulders. Let the shoulders remain soft. Let the belly be soft. And just begin the opening in the back of the leg. Releasing any effort, we let that leg come back so it's just resting right on top of the hip bone, and just circle through the ankle and the opposite direction. Take that point, big toe going towards the ceiling, opening up the whole front of the foot and the front of the ankle, and then flex, heel goes up and point and flex. So as we point and flex, maybe you move the hand closer to the thigh so you can feel the shin muscles as you point and the calf muscles as you flex. And then just twirl the ankle one more time. And then bend into that knee, that half happy baby here. So connect the hand to the foot or the ankle, or even rest the forearm behind the knee crease and draw that knee to the side body, beginning to open up through the back of the glutes. Again, watch how much tension you're bringing into the upper body here. Relax the face, the chest, the shoulders. Just kind of sink into the pose. Full breath here. One more inhale. And on the exhale, draw that foot across the body. Let's find that figure 4 here. Flex through that right foot. Take the fingertips inside the left thigh and just gently, gently open up that right hip, sending that knee away from the body. Any amount, so just come to sensation. And then release the body to the mat with the breath and just open up. This is the front wrapping around to the outside of that hip joint. Just pause here. And then we're going to release that hand and we're going to draw the knee in across the body on a diagonal towards that left shoulder tip. So use the hands on the outside of the right thigh and just draw it in, a different stretch here. And then send it back. Again, maybe using the hand lightly inside the thigh to press the knee away. And release that and draw the knee back in towards the chest, in towards that opposite shoulder. Squeeze it in. And this time, maybe send it back, but without the use of the hands, allow that knee to fall away from the body, any degree. Whole upper body is just simply relaxed here. We're just breathing. And then draw it back one more time. Bring it in towards the chest. And then release the ankle, hug that right knee in. And then we'll plant that right foot and we'll switch sides here. So draw the left knee in. Give it a squeeze. Then interlace around the hamstring and very slowly, any degree of straight here. Heel presses away, toes point down towards the face. Draw in the thigh. Again, re-soften the shoulders, the arms, the face. Big breath. And then release that leg back so that it's right over that hip joint. And just point and flex here. Bring some movement into the foot, the ankle, the toes, circle. Find what feels good. Flare the toes, make a fist, just any movement. And again, just to connect with the movement in your body, maybe the hands do come up to the calf so that as you point and flex, you feel the shin and the calf. As you circle, you feel the whole movement through the leg. And then come back to that flex, bend the knee, find your half happy baby here. Draw that knee down towards the outside now of the ribs. And again, always the option, forearm option, I love around the knee crease, draws the same attention to the hips as holding on to the outside of the foot. Take 3 full rounds of breath here as you begin to soften into the left hip. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. Big breath in and slow breath out. And then we're going to draw that ankle across the body to the left thigh. Flex that left foot, level out the hips. Left fingertips maybe inside gently the left inner thigh to help urge, encourage the left knee fall away from the body. And this is our first opening, so we're not going to push this. We just want to come to sensation, front hip, side hip, and the glute. So just find that spot, 3 breaths. Each breath softens the whole upper body, so we can focus right there on softening through the hip. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, release the hand and let's bring that knee in towards the body, over towards the right shoulder. Draw it in with your hands, beginning to feel some length on the outside of the left leg, all the way through the glutes. And then gently we'll come back, press the knee away, open up the hip. Big inhale. And on the exhale, release and let that knee fall in. Hug it in and across. And then send it back. And again, maybe this time we don't use the hands. We just tell the body, send the knee away. As much as you can now without using the fingertips. Foot is flexed. And then draw it in. Let it go, let it release. Hug it in. and then send it back. And then release the ankle. Let's take the feet wide on your mat. Hips are level and just windshield wiper. So internal, external rotation through the hips. Just also a nice release for the spine. And then we'll take those legs over to one side to allow us to roll right over, and we'll come to a seat. And as you come to a seat, maybe that towel that you used in our opening, you set that underneath you so that you prop up the hips. But what you're really doing is you're tilting the pelvis forward so that you can relax more through the knees and bring more space into the low back. And here, bring your hands to the inside of the knees and very gently just press the knees, the heels of the hand into that flesh inside the knees, and drop the shoulders back and find some length. So we're going to open up here through the pelvis, but nice tall spine, crown of the head reaching up. Take the full breath here and soften the shoulders and kind of squeeze the shoulder blades back behind you. 3 more breaths. Maybe close down the eyes and feel into your body. And let the mind, remember, trace the breath. So keeping the left hand right on the inside of that inner thigh, let's take the right hand behind us. We're off to the side. So we're going to press into that right palm, but at the same time, we're going to press into that left inner thigh. And we're going to take a twist, gentle twist over towards the right. So we're twisting through the spine, but we're using the left hand here to really anchor that left knee down, opening up through the hip and the inner thigh. Gaze can be over the shoulder or, depending on your neck, straight down. Take a full deep breath. And on the exhale, settle both sit bones down to the mat. Feel into that left hip and left thigh. Release gently, come back to center, both hands now. Let's do that again. Both hands pressing into the thigh. Squeeze the shoulders, tips back behind you. Sit up nice and tall. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Keep the right hand right where it is. Take the left hand out to the side or maybe a little bit behind you. Press into the heel of the right hand. So you're going to press that right knee away from you, and at the same time, take the twist. Maybe gaze over the left shoulder, maybe just look down. But here, it's not about the twist so much as it is about the right hip. So gently press the knee down as you twist. Notice your breath. Soften through the shoulders. And easy come back around. Again, both hands here. Press into the thighs so that you can squeeze the shoulder tips back. Get nice and long in the spine. And we're going to come into a seated forward fold. So bring the fingertips right in front of you and begin to walk the fingertips forward. Keep the spine nice and long, the neck right in line with the spine. Draw yourself down. Any amount, belly comes in, and we want to soften the upper body. So notice where you feel this. As you press into those palms and you send the sit bones back, depending on which shin you have in front, and mine is my right. I can feel the opening in the outside of the hip, and I just breathe into that. Palms help keep us grounded, so sit bones go back. Belly is in. Big inhale. On the exhale, is there any more room to maybe come a little forward? Pause there. Just feel into what you feel. Then we'll walk the hands back towards the body. Bring the hands to the back, to the inner thighs again. Press into those thighs. Send those shoulders down and back. Nice, long, tall spine. And then release the hands, bring them behind you, and just flop, flop, flip, shins. So now bring whatever shin was it in front before, now is my left. Sit up again, nice and tall, hands to the inner thighs. Press into those thighs again, opening up through the front of the hips. But at the same time, squeeze the shoulders back. Lengthen the spine, belly in, face soft. Big breath. Exhale slow. And then release the hands, fingertips in front of you, seated forward fold. Walk them out. So draw the belly in and up with the in-breath. Notice if there's more of a restriction on one side than the other. And you know what? Be happy with that. You can feel that, right? So press into your palms, again, just to send the hip bones back. Keep the spine nice and tall, belly in. Use the out breath to find some ease into the pose. And then just be here. Breathing in, belly in, breathing out, maybe more space. These are the lessons that Barb teaches us in our yin pose. As we hold the pose, as we control the breath, the body opens naturally. We just have to give it time and breath. Big breath in, belly in. Maybe inch the fingers forward. See if you can relax into that outer hip here. And when you're ready for the next in-breath, gently walk yourself back. Find that tall spine. Last time, hands to the inner thighs. Press into those inner thighs like you could press them down and away. At the same time, squeeze the shoulder blades so that the chest opens. Close down the eyes. Find the full breath. And then slowly release. Roll over the legs. All fours, tabletop. So just to warm through the spine before we begin to flow a little bit here, I'm gonna just adjust my thing a little bit back. Take a couple cat-cows. You've all practiced this before. So spread those fingers, make it dramatic. So when you're ready for the in-breath, lift the chest and the tailbone and you find length from the pubic bone all the way to the sternum. And then as you release the breath, tuck in the chin, tuck in the tailbone, press through the palms. Take your time here, find the space in the shoulder blades. And then drop the belly again on the inhale. And on the exhale, round it in. So again, a mindful practice. We do cat-cows 1,000 times, but each time is different. So find what's different here in your cat-cow today, right now. And if it feels good to just stay with the heart lifted and the belly dropped, stay there. But the same thing, if it feels good in your back body to press into the palms and round through the shoulders, stay there. A couple more. And returning to neutral here. Neutral, draw the belly in. Let's bring the knees as wide as you can, maybe even off the mat as your big toe mounds come together, and press your hips back towards your heels, any amount. Spine is nice and long. Press into the heels of the hands. Maybe the knees go wider. The wider the knees, the bigger stretch opening through the hips. Then walk the hands forward. Draw the belly in. Come down to the forearms. Big breath. And then just release the belly in between the thighs and extend the arms long. Extended child's pose. So as you arrive here, this is a hip class. So we're thinking more about the opening in the hips, but at the same time, as you stretch the arms forward, can you release the chest and the shoulders closer to the mat? Let the head rest. Use that three-dimensional breath into the side and back, front body. Full deep breath in. Child's pose, our resting pose, but when we do child's pose like this is a big stretch into the inner thighs and the hips. So just breathe into that. And if you've only got the 20-minute practice with us, you know what? Draw the knees back in a little bit and spend a few moments just in a supported child's pose. You and your breath, your mind resting on the breath. As we continue the practice, take one more full breath in. Slow breath out. Use the hands to draw the torso back up. Bring the knees in and come back to your table. Just a moment here, cat and a cow, just to transition one last time. We're going to make our way to downward facing dog. So spread the fingers first, tuck the toes under, lift the hips high. Maybe hip distance apart. Maybe you take them a little bit wider at first, bringing them to the edges of your mat. Take the hips as you press those palms down and away from you. Notice that the hips go higher and back. The chest comes towards the thighs. Take your gaze to your navel. So you're really letting that head hang, and find some movement. So whether you sway the hips, whether you walk out your dog, just find some movement here. If your feet are wide, like mine, walk them in just maybe a step. Bring the right hand to the center of your mat. Bring the left hand over to your outer calf. Use that. Use the leverage of the hand and just take a twist under the arm. Maybe the gaze goes up. Notice your breath. Easy breath in. Belly's in, spine is long. Releasing that. Left hand to the center of the mat. Right hand extends across the body to the calf or the ankle. Use that hand to help rotate the body so that you're looking underneath the left shoulder, belly's in. Find your breath. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently release. Hands come back into your dog position. Let's bring the feet hip distance apart. So again, pressing into those hands, hips go up and back. Pausing here. And then bring the feet together. So like one leg here. And lift the right leg up. So again, if there's pressure here in your wrist, take it down to your forearms. But if you press your hands away, you're getting the pressure off of the wrist and into the hands. Again, right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hips. Send the knee off to the side. The heel comes towards your glutes. Shoulders stay parallel with the top of your mat, and your head simply hangs. No pressure. Maybe take a circle now. Big circle with that knee. Working right into that hip joint. And then reverse it nice and slow, but big circles. Keep the shoulders parallel to the top of the mat and the head loose. And then re-extend, three-legged dog. Press the palms away, get long, heel to the fingers. And then right foot meets the left. Downward facing dog. Take any movement here. And then planting through that right foot, left leg extends behind you. Find the length first. Draw the belly in, head is loose. Then take a bend into that knee, open up the hip. So the heel comes towards the glute, the knee lifts towards the ceiling. Big breath. And circle here. Big circles. And reverse. Keep the shoulders squared. And then extend three-legged dog. And drop the foot to meet the right. Here comes that B. Here comes that B. Okay, guys. Press into the palms. Downward facing dog. Then bend the knees, come up onto the balls of the feet, and walk the feet towards the hands. Find your forward fold. Head hangs, arms dangle. Maybe movement through the legs. Sway the hips. Draw the belly in. And then find some stillness. Bend through the knees as you press through the feet. Rise up. Stand up. Let the arms come out. Let the arms come overhead. Extend yourself up. And then the hands to heart. Soften the shoulders. Feel into your feet. So maybe you close down the eyes and you let this be an internal scan here. Lifting all 10 toes. Spread them wide. Drop them one at a time. Down to the mat. Subtly shifting the weight. Front to back. Heel to the ball of the foot. Ball of the foot to the heel. side to side, inner arch, outer blade of the foot. It's like this movement in stillness. If I was watching you, I couldn't even see it, but you can find movement in the body just by being still. And let's flow now. Just so find your center. Blink the eyes open, lift the arms out, lift the arms up. Your choice, swan dive or hands through heart center. Take a fold. A half lift, shoulders back, and a fold. Let all the air out so that when you're ready for the in-breath, press into the feet, bend the knees, bring it out and bring it up. Hands find that prayer, maybe a back bend, and then flow down. Each movement, a full breath, half lift, and down, and back up. And maybe that back bend. 2 more on your own, nice and slow. Taking our time, rising up, reaching up, take the bend. Meet me in prayer Tadasana when you're ready. Feel the feet, feel the energy from the feet, lifting the kneecaps, engaging the quads, squeezing in the glutes, drawing in the belly, dropping the pelvis. But from there, from the hips up, and you feel the lightness, allowing the shoulders to be soft and the face to be soft. Take a full breath in. And exhale slow. Moving into a low lunge here. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, take the fold. Inhale, halfway lift, belly draws in, crown of the head, tailbone separates, and fold. Plant the hands, right foot steps back. Drop the knee. So first of all, just check the front knee and ankle alignment, toes pointing straight ahead. Good. Come off the kneecap just a bit by just sending that back knee maybe an inch back. Fingertips resting on the mat so that you can press into the fingertips, lift the chest. Let that right hip flexor sink down. Don't let that left knee flare out. So active pose here, belly's in, shoulders down, full breath. We're going to peel it back for half splits pose. So walking the hands towards you. Begin to straighten that front leg. Keep the foot down first. So as you peel the hips back, press that big toe down and notice the stretch you're getting through the top of the foot. We never get that during the day. So enjoy that. And as you draw the belly in on the in-breath, lift the toes, maybe slide the heel a little towards the top of the mat. Sink the hips back, but lift the heart. Head, neck in line with the spine. Draw the belly in. One more breath here. And begin to walk the hands forward as you drop the front foot. Come back to that low lunge. Let the hips sink here. Keep the heart raised. And any degree, I know this is a tough one, we're going to work into that quad. So lift the right foot up. Bringing the heel close to the glute. And your choice, if you're tight there this morning, you know what, just pulse it up and down like a toe tap. If you feel a little more open and you want a deeper stretch, take that left arm out, wrap it around and reach for the foot or the ankle. Use that to draw that in. But at the same time, don't collapse into the front body. Lift the chest. Full breath wherever you are. And then we'll release that foot back down to the mat. So here, this is going to be a little bit different. Frame the front foot with your hands and then lift the back knee. So from here, we're going to take that front foot back to a three-legged dog. So as you're ready, draw in the belly, press into your palms, send that foot back and up. Three-legged dog. Stretch it out. Press the heels of the hands away from you. Draw the belly in. And then take another bend into that knee. Open up the hip one more time. Then draw that knee across the body as you come into a core plank. Knee towards that right elbow. Send it back. Three-legged dog. Stretch long. Knee to nose. Core plank. Bring it in. Send it back. Find length. And this time, knee to the left elbow. Pause there. Then drop the knee down, coming into your pigeon. So the knee and the wrist in line. The back leg goes long behind us. Find your proud pigeon first. And again, if this isn't comfortable for you, take it on your back, or we'll do a seated. Press into the palms, level out the hips. So maybe a block or a bolster underneath that hip. And then as you find the length, bring it down. Forearms first. Hips are level. Maybe you stack fists and your head. Maybe you use your block. While we're in this pigeon pose, breath is so important because it allows you to settle. So take a full inhale, and on the exhale, let everything sink. Two more full rounds of breath here. Big hip opener. And then we'll slowly bring the hands underneath us to press our way up. Pause in your proud pigeon first. I'm going to adjust my camera, but what we're going to do is swing that back leg off to the side and around so that it's going to come in. Readjust the camera. So you're going to swing the back leg, bring it around, and that foot across. See if that's better. So that we're seated. I'm going to face you. The right foot is planted on the outside of the left thigh. Hug the knee in, just like what we did on our back. Hug the knee in. Let the back, lower back come in with you so you get a nice stretch through the glutes. So pause here, soften the shoulders. Any amount here. And then we're going to take the twist. So hug in the knee with the elbow. Take the right hand behind you, tented fingers, press up first, Then twist over the bent leg. Soften as you lift up. So here we're in a spinal twist, but bring your focus to that right hip, to the back of the glutes, to the wrapping of the muscles that run from the low back through the glutes to the hamstring. Piriformis, let it relax. One more breath. Bring the head around first, then bring the body around, and let's just take a nice gentle counter stretch over to the other side. Option now, we're going to come into cow face legs. Oh my goodness, I have a deer with 3 babies behind me. Do you see them? Okay, keep the twist because it's going that way. I'm going, what's that noise behind me? They're right. Oh, I just scared them. Okay, keep the twist. That was cool. Better than a yellow jacket. All right, so from here, bring that right leg, foot closer to your hip. So we're coming into cow face legs, stacking the knees together, any amount. The feet are flexed to the side if you're here. If that is too intense, just take half. Extend the left leg long, flex the foot, and just stack the right knee over the left, flex through the right foot. Again, hands to the knee to gently encourage you to sit up nice and tall. And then maybe a bow over the thigh. So whatever position you're in now, draw down the torso towards the inner thigh. Relax the shoulders, and maybe even here, tuck the chin. Let the head hang, maybe a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Big breath in. And then release the body with the exhale. One more breath. Inhale, bring yourself back to a nice straight spine. We're going to bend into that left knee. So bring your fingertips behind you first. Bend into the knee. Let that ankle stay right on the thigh. So we're in a seated pigeon now. Your choice. Press into the palms behind you. Shift the hips forward. Shift the hips back. Keep the foot flexed. The more you come towards that bottom foot, the deeper the stretch. Relax the shoulders, maybe even open up the chest, maybe gaze up. But again, here the focus is right hip. Big breath. Again, adjust. Come out or come deeper. If you come deeper, press into the palms, lift the chest, open up through the front of the shoulders. Foot is flexed, maybe even flare the toes. One more breath. And then we're going to take the sole of the right foot off to the side. Just for a moment, plant the foot. Send that knee away from the body, that stretch that we did on our back. Press into your palms, open the chest. Then draw that knee back in and roll yourself over for all fours. Cat and cow. Release the spine, any movements, sway the hips, whatever you need to release. We're going to move over to the opposite side. Coming back to neutral, draw the belly in, press into your palms, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Stretch long hips up and back. Bring the big toe mounds together. Lift the left leg up to the sky or the ceiling. Get long. Bend the knee. Take that 1 or 2 hip circles. I think I'm on the wrong foot. Here I am. All right, so my right leg is up now. Then I'm going to keep the bend into the knee, and I'm going to take the knee across my body to the left elbow, core plank, and send it back, 3-legged dog. Big stretch. Bring the knee in towards the nose as you flow into plank. Inhale, press into the palms, send it back. 3-legged dog, get long. And nice and slow. Knee to the right elbow. Drop it down by the wrist. Slide yourself into pigeon. Nice and easy. So again, the heel can be in towards the groin. You could have it parallel, however your right hip feels. Press into the palms. Make sure that the left leg is straight behind you. Level out the hips. Use some padding underneath if you need it. And get nice and tall in your pigeon. Big breath. And then come down onto the forearms. Keep the levelness of the hips. Maybe stack the fists. Rest the head. Spine is long. Shoulders soft. Breath is flowing. We're here for 5 full deep breaths. So enjoy each one and let the exhales soften into the pose. One more breath in. Slow exhale out. And then we'll replant the palms. We'll come back to that proud pigeon, lifting up the chest, the heart, look forward. And then roll onto that right hip as you swing the left leg around to plant the left foot on the outside of the right thigh. So here as you hug it in, really press down through that left toe. Use the hug to straighten your spine nice and tall. And then we'll take that twist. So we're going to use the right elbow to hug in the knee. Left hand's going to swing behind us on tented fingers. Before we even twist, press into the fingers, draw the belly in, shoulders back, get long. Then take the gaze over the left shoulder. Hugging that knee in. So again, the stretch, it's not about the twist. I want you to feel this in the low back, through the glutes, to the outer hip. Draw in the belly, soften, or you can soften. 3 breaths. Head comes back around first. Then we'll release the twist. Take the counter pose to the other side, a nice bow down. and draw back to center. And moving into cow face, each side being different. We're going to just slide that left foot off to the side. So you're stacking through the knees. The feet are flexed on either side of you. Okay, so, and again, if this isn't accessible this morning, take that right leg out and just stack the left knee on top of the right knee. Find length, shoulders back. Then maybe take a fold. Allow the chest to come towards the thigh, the chin to come towards the throat. Let the breath bring you deeper into the pose. Full breath in. Slow breath out. Maybe the invitation to go a little bit deeper. Big breath, draw the belly in. On our inhale, we'll slowly come out of this, lifting the torso up. Bring the hands behind you and bend into the right leg. So we come into that seated figure 4. Flex that left foot. And as you press into your palms, lift the chest, send the shoulder tips back. Just notice how this side feels, and then you adjust it. If you want it deeper, you bring the hips forward towards that right heel. If you need it less, you come out. Or maybe you explore both. And then find a place to settle. Keep that foot flexed. Keep the heart lifted. Send the knee away from the body. And just settle here. Into the pose, into the hip, into the moment. Deep breath in. Chest lifts. Shoulder tips back. One more inhale. And an exhale. And then we're just going to move into a easy seat. Just bring that right foot in towards the left hip. Legs crisscross. Find a tall spine. Take a seated cat and cow. Release the spine. Heart forward. Roll back on the tailbone as you round and tuck. And then we're going to just keep the legs crossed. Bring the hands behind you. Come down onto your forearms. This is going to be a big stretch for the front of the hips and the psoas hip flexor. So again, stay here if you feel that. If you feel like you can recline back onto the back body, bring yourself down. Hug the heels in close to the hips and just let the knees hang out right and left. It's not cobbler pose because the soles of the feet aren't together. It's a seated crisscross of the legs. And just pause here for a moment. Maybe you feel the space between the hips. Maybe you feel the space in the hip flexors, the inner thighs. But the whole body should be at rest here. Effortless breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades in so the shoulder tips drop down. Tuck the chin in just a bit so there's length in the neck. And then we're just going to take whatever foot's inside to the outside and just crisscross the other way. Let the knees fall open. Again, no effort. And if you feel there's effort, support the outside of those thighs. Let the whole body get heavy. 3 more breaths. Use the hands again to slowly uncross the legs, bring the knees up and into the chest. Squeeze in, take a rock, whatever feels good, low back or up and down the spine. And let's separate the knees right and left. Reach into the legs for the outer blade of the foot or the ankle. Full happy baby here. So soles of the feet to the sky or the ceiling. Draw the knees down towards the side body. Pause here. Feel the spine. Then take that movement, whatever feels good. One leg out on a diagonal. Let it fall. Maybe the other. Maybe that wide V. Or maybe if you're holding stillness in your happy baby, you act like a happy baby trying to learn how to roll over. So you begin that gentle rock right and left. And then you rock a little deeper to one side so that the thigh maybe touches down like you could roll over. And then use your core to pull yourself back to center and over to the opposite side. So right and left, any amount. Legs out on a diagonal, any amount. It's your happy baby. And then find stillness again. Draw the knees down, press the feet into the hands, find the whole length of the spine. And begin to straighten the legs, any amount, so that the toes come overhead. Keep the low back rounded here, belly in. Last stretch through the back of the legs, back of the groin, back of the low back. Draw the thighs closer into the chest. Take a full breath. Then bring the big toes together, the balls of the feet together. Draw the heels down towards the body. So a floating cobbler, if you will, pull them in. And then slowly release them down to the mat. So you're coming into the blade edge of the foot. Reclined cobbler pose, knees wide, support where you need. Hand to the belly, hand to the heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades underneath you to let the shoulder tips fall back. Tuck in that chin, close down the eyes, and feel your breath again in your palms. Just like how we started, feel the breath move through your body by feeling it underneath the hands. Soften the face and the jaw, and let the mind follow the breath. In through the nose, chest, ribs, belly swells. And as you exhale, belly, ribs, chest, relax. 5 more, just like that. Let the mind follow the breath. Chest, ribs, and belly. Belly, ribs, and chest. We'll close the practice here. Stay as long as you'd like, or take a traditional Shavasana, maybe legs up the wall. Just take a few moments before you come off your mat into the day. Namaste.